Bear with me, guys. I'm anybody that's on doing this for my Mac because my basement got really wet from a flood. So I got to try and get organized a little bit better here. So anyway, I'm going to do just all signs, just a love reading check-in. And at the end of each sign, I'm going to do a spirit message card for you guys. And if there's time left over, I'll try and do some questions if you have any. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. But I'm going to wait a couple minutes just to see how many people we get fill in. And I'm not expecting a lot of people, but I do want to wait a few minutes. And the replay is kind of is easier to do a live stream, and then other than having to film a video and then to upload it and do all that. So I'm going to try and do it a little different this time. So anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. And just wait a couple minutes and see what's going on. So anybody out there, hello, my name's Joe, and this is my little channel here. You know, back when I started this, when the pandemic first hit, it was just something to kind of, you know, fill the time, I guess. My wife suggested that maybe I should do this, and you know, because I have an extreme affinity and love for tarot. But I do read a little bit differently than most people do. And so you might find that my style of reading just kind of varies a little bit. I don't normally assign zodiac signs to cards like a lot of readers. Not that that's wrong, but I do feel like it limits the message. And so it's just not my method. To me, first impression is the most important when I see a card, and then the tarot meaning, you know, the traditional meanings and all that can come into play too, of course, but it's always, to me, the first impression is the most important. So I'm going to get right into it in a minute here. We're going to do fire signs first, and I'm going to take notes when I start so that way I can timestamp this a lot easier and not have to go through and watch the whole thing and figure out where I started with each sign. So, all right. So I'm going to start with Aries, and I'm probably going to use the Dreaming Way Tarot for Aries. So again, this is fire signs first, Aries, and love, relationship status. So we'll kind of do you versus them and see what's going on. It's my first time doing a live stream on YouTube. I've done a lot of live streams on Facebook, but you know, YouTube's a kind of a strange place for me. I'm not used to YouTube, you know, the way it works. I used to do a lot of Facebook live streaming though. All right, so Aries, you have 7 of Pentacles. Person has 6 of Cups. Nice. All right, Aries. So what's going on with you? We have the big picture is the 2 of Wands here, and so to me, immediately the first thing I think is really trying to judge whether this connection you have with your person is really a long-term connection, whether it's something that's going to you know, hold weight for the long term, because I think that you're looking for you know, the forever person, or you know, you don't want to continue relationship to relationship. So I do feel like Aries, this to me is all about you really judging whether your person here that you're dealing with is somebody that you could spend the rest of your life with, or at least a long time with. So Aries, to me, 2 of Wands here is really about you contemplating what the future holds for you with your person. So anyway, that's kind of where things sit with me when I see this, because you have the 7 of Pentacles here. This, you know, 7 of Pentacles is often about, you know, give and take, give and receive sometimes. But I do feel like this is a little bit like, you know, are you willing to give your all to this relationship? I do see that your person is probably wanting to reciprocate, that connection with you, but you do have some hesitation with how you feel about them. You do have some reservations. What those reservations are, I'm not quite sure, but there is nonetheless something that is holding you back a little bit. You really have, something to think about here because you have the Eight of Cups. And I apologize if this doesn't focus the greatest. Again, because I had to use my Mac and not my camera because of a flooding incident in my basement. So anyway, you have something to contemplate here. Is this long term for you? You really want the long term. You want the long term commitment. I don't think you want to be a serial dater or kind of like in and out of a relationship. This to you is about getting serious at this time in your life, and you really do want that long term connection. So I do see this as like the big contemplation for you right now. Especially, this is really going into the first week of September. So this is kind of the theme. And you have the Knight of Wands here, which is really kind of represents the outcome of things. And, the Knight of Wands in this deck is interesting because, even though the Knight's moving forward, he's still looking backwards. So there is like a lot to really think about here for you. There's you can go one way or the other with this person at this point. I think maybe there's just some things that you're not 100% sure about, but I do feel like that your person is really wanting that higher level of commitment from you. And so that this to me just seems like there's still a lot for you to mull over, a lot for you to really kind of think about and decide if this is going to be the long-term commitment that you've been waiting for. Aries, we're going to pull a spirit guide message and see what is in the cards for you for a message from your spirit guides. Let's see, you have the blessing of the earth. So, if you're not sure about things, and you're feeling like, I apologize if I'm wobbly here, if you're feeling like things, you just don't have the answers, you feel a little bit clouded, things just can't quite come together to the point where you can make a decision. Really, a blessing of the earth is about being grounded, being connected. There's something to be said about just even walking outside barefoot, with the feet, your feet in the grass, that peace and quiet that you can get out in nature. So many answers can be found. And so your spirit guides, I think, are saying to, let the earth bless you, get grounded, get centered, and, just really take time to make any decisions. Don't make any quick decisions. Just get connected with what makes you feel wholesome. So I do feel this is really about just taking your time and getting connected, getting grounded. Don't let everything overwhelm you. You don't have to make a decision about this relationship right now. There's always time. Nothing has to be rushed. And I don't think that's what you want. I don't think you want the rushed commitment. So Aries, that's your reading. I'm going to go to Leo. And for Leo, I think I'm going to use the Gilded Tarot. Let's see, what is going on for Leo? We're at 9:12. And if you're just joining in, I'm doing just a quick love check-in for the first week of September 2020. And as I say, it's an intuitive reading, first impression on the card, and then everything else comes after that when it comes to the tarot meaning of the card. So we're just going to explore what's going on for you, Leo, in the first week of September. What's going on in your love life? I'm a Leo. I'm a Leo sun, Leo rising. So I'm kind of a fiery person myself. And then, Leo, I'll pull a spirit guide message for you also. So, Leo, your relationship. Nine of Cups, nice. So this is like really the big picture for you. This is really what you're after. I mean, aren't we all when it comes to relationships, of course? So you have the Ace of Pentacles. If anybody's having trouble hearing me, let me know. Hopefully the audio is good. I don't have my microphone on here. You have the Ace of Pentacles. All right. So this is for your person. I do feel like this is like the offer that you're hoping is going to come in. This is like the new boost that you want for your relationship status. But we're going to keep going and see what's going on. Page of Wands. Again, that's the reciprocating that you want with your person. And the Hermit, but there's still something left on the table here for you when it comes to making that final commitment. There's something in your relationship that needs to be discussed. I think Five of Swords, like I said, something in your relationship needs to be discussed. You know, so the Five of Swords, this is like the big picture. This is like, okay, this is what you really need to pay attention to. Is there something you feel like they're kind of ruling over you, or is there some aspect of your relationship that just feels over dominating? I do see this as like, okay, maybe there's like a little bit less flow in your direction and more flow in theirs in your relationship, Leo. So this could, to me, kind of represent like there's this not this equal give and take, or this equal sharing of the same feelings, same thoughts, same energy going into the relationship. So you might be a little bit more of the giver, Leo. And, you know, as a Leo, I gotta say, sometimes we give to a fault and then we get resentful. So always keep that in mind. That's to me, that's a fault of Leo sometimes. Just giving, over giving, and then, you know, we get a little hurt because it doesn't all flow back evenly. And so that's something I think you need to keep in mind here. But the Knight of Cups, I mean, I do feel like you see a lot of potential with your person here, because they do give you that, you know, that feeling of that big picture of this is, or could possibly be somebody I want to spend my life with, or this is somebody that I could even make a family with. So this to you represents, I think, it's a big dream. We call this the wish card. I think most of you know that. And the wish card is, you know, it's not the fulfillment of the wish, it's the desire for the fulfillment of that wish. I do see like the Ace of Pentacles here. You know, they do, this is your person, they have a lot of value. And I think you recognize the value they have. But I do, like I said, feel like there's something on the table still in this relationship that needs to get resolved. And I do feel like it's more about the give and take, or the equality in the relationship. But nonetheless, your person is very much worthy of your love, you know, and I think that there's just some things that need to have open lines of communication. Page of Wands, this is really what needs to happen in order to kind of, I want to say it's what needs to happen in order to kind of, you know, cement things in your relationship. There needs to be an equal coming together. And I think that in the first week of September, you do have some soul searching to do. You have some things to really mull over and think about if you want to, you know, try and get this relationship to go to the next step, or to try and evaluate, you know, whether that possibility is realistic with your person. But I feel like your person is actually, you know, a genuine connection with you. But I do, like I said, feel like there's just like a little less give on their end. So that could be like a sore spot for you, or a source of resentment, and you don't want to let that build. So I kind of feel like that's where you're at, Leo, when it comes to your love connection in the first week of September. But we're going to pull a spirit guide message and see where Spirit wants you to focus and how they want to bless you. All right. So Leo, what is it that Spirit wants to tell you? Nice. A blessing. See, this is a mouthful, but this is actually a nice card, and I do really like this card. A blessing on the senses that gift the world to you. So I do, I really think that, you know, if you're battling that intuition versus that kind of intellect, I do feel like Spirit wants to say to you right now that they're trying to communicate to you to really trust your intuition, trust your gut. You might be afraid to release yourself into that into that just trusting and going with it and going with the flow. And that might be part of the hesitation I was talking about here with your connection with your person. So, I think Spirit's really saying to just open up, allow yourself to feel every aspect of this relationship, because you are going to evaluate some things after all. And I do think that Spirit really, really does want to open your eyes a little bit, and maybe not be overly analytical of things. Leos aren't generally analytical, but you really are, I think, in evaluation mode in this relationship. So I definitely feel like take time to really just get and connect with, your spiritual practice, your higher power, whatever that is, because there are a lot of messages in there for you to be had and for you to kind of find the answers to. But again, I feel like a lot of it is about trust and open lines of communication. So that's Leo. And I do actually have, I'm not even paying attention. I'm sorry, guys. I do have a couple people in here. Well, thanks. Thanks. I like your vibe. I appreciate that. All right. We do have some Leos in here at least. You get too many Leos in a room, though, it could be kind of wild. Anyway, so, hey, Leo Santero, how you doing? That's my new friend I made on YouTube. He's a great guy. I really love his, he's just calm demeanor. It's just so, relaxing. But anyway, so Sagittarius, we're going to do Sagittarius next. Sagittarius, what's going on with your love connection? I'm going to say it ahead of time, and I like to hesitate when I do this, but I feel like there's something really getting to you, Sagittarius. I don't know. Maybe I'll find out on the replay if anybody comments, if there's no Sagittarius in here to really talk about it. But so, strength. Something's really getting to you. I just feel like there's something you're trying to push through. And so you're playing that persona of strength. But, really, strength isn't about taming the lion. To me, it's it's not forcing things. I feel like strength is like doing everything out of love and compassion, even when it's hard to do it, even when it goes against what somebody else doesn't like. So I feel like you're really trying to push through something here. And, true strength oftentimes is about facing a fear or pushing through a fear. And, of course, being fearless isn't about being unafraid. Being fearless is doing things in spite of the fear that might be holding you back. So I feel like you might be pushing through something, and your person is doing this. They're just hanging upside down, the hangman. So that kind of, I feel like there's something your person has to let go, Sagittarius. I don't know what that is, but there's something they have to let go, or there's something that's not fully 100% committal here. King of Cups and Judgment. Yeah, so there's a decision to be had. This might even be more about kind of waking up to reality, but let's talk about this. You have the Five of Wands, so you're pushing through something, like I said. And no, I didn't do Virgo yet. I'm on fire signs, Sagittarius. But anyway, like I said, I felt like, you were really trying to push through something. You're trying to find balance between doing the right thing for yourself and the right thing for you and your person as a whole. And so there's this feeling of trying to push through, being compassionate and caring and loving, but not walking over yourself or letting yourself, your boundaries, or whatever you want to call it, being kind of just walked all over. So I feel that there is definitely some conflict here, Sagittarius. And I felt it as soon as I saw strength. It popped out to me. And then there's the Five of Wands. So there is something that needs to be discussed. Your partner needs to let something go. And I think that they're just wanting to kind of just hang out there and kind of hold on. They have some hesitation of something that they just can't quite let go of. And I almost feel like intuitively, to me, it feels like maybe there's some kind of, it could be like an addiction or something like that, or it could just be it could even be a person or somebody from the past that they quite don't want to let go. So I don't really 100% like, this, like I said, I read intuitively. And so it's not going to resonate with everybody, but if it's for you, you'll understand exactly what they're saying to you, and you can apply it, how you will for your situation. With King of Cups, you just really, I feel like you dominate this relationship when it comes to the level of commitment. And I just kind of get this vibe that you have to just really make a decision. You have to, you may even be contemplating releasing your person, at least even for the time being. But I don't feel like there's something that you don't really want to let go of them either. So Judgment, though, there's like this contemplation here. There's this decision, or this idea that you have to really decide what is ultimately best for you, versus how much harm they might be causing you in an emotional way. But this is also about waking up to reality, waking up to the truth also. So, Sagittarius, I kind of see this as like you're in limbo in the first week of September. But there's some things that have to be confronted. And I do feel like that your person is really hanging tight to something. There's something, maybe a vice of some sort, or there's some kind of something from the past they just can't quite fully let go of. And so it's creating a conflict. And I do, like I said, feel like you dominate this relationship when it comes to like love and emotion. They're probably quite disconnected. So Sagittarius, that's kind of the way I see things right now, but we are going to pull a blessing from Spirit and see what is it that they want to tell you right now. What's the most important thing that's going to give you the stamina and the wisdom to push forward and to keep going and keep doing what you're doing? Because I feel like you're on the right path. You're kind of doing the right thing as best you can. All right. See, are you ready for this? A blessing on your wisdom. So you're being gifted right now with, I almost feel like downloads. Like you might be getting bits and pieces of like profound wisdom in this situation, but you might not be trusting where that's coming from. You might not be 100% open to receiving, these spiritual messages. So I feel like you might be having some profound moments, but you might also be having some sense of deja vu too. And so this blessing on your wisdom, it's really trying to tell you the most important things that you need to pay attention to. So be open to those bits of wisdom that come in, because when you open that up, you're opening the lines of communication with your spiritual team in the unseen realm. If you could just pierce the veil and poke a hole, you would see there's so much on the other side. There's a whole team of people supporting you. So Sagittarius, just keep at it. And persevere. You're going to get through it. You're going to make the right decision, because you have the gift and blessing of wisdom on your life right now when you need it the most. So that's Sagittarius. What am I going to use next? Let's do Gemini. Gemini, we're going to do Light Seer's Tarot. I love this. Is my favorite deck. And in fact, I'm giving this away tonight, okay? Because this went unclaimed for last month. I don't know if Leo's calmed down the older we get. I feel like I'm getting a little bit more fired up, but I'm getting kind of tired. I just turned 45. So, yeah, I'm wanting to calm down. So, Gemini, we're on Gemini, Light Seer's Tarot. Yes, air signs. And my 2.5-year-old Ansel, he's an Aquarius. And I mean, no offense, but he's the most challenging little person I've ever met. But he is so freaking smart, it scares me. So, yeah. He's definitely been like the sign that is intrigues me the most. So air signs. So we're going to do Gemini and see. Gemini, You have Nine of Pentacles. So you have some good things coming in, for sure. Queen of Cups. Nice. So let's keep going, Gemini. Let's see. Nine of Pentacles. Okay. Not everything's happening very fast, but it's happening. You kind of have it going on here. Page of Pentacles. Okay. All right. So Gemini, let's talk about this. You have the Nine of Wands. So I feel like you, Gemini, you have removed some boundaries, some borders in your life. You've kind of, you've been disassembling or dismantling a wall that I think that you built in the past, and that wall is finally coming down. I think you see that with your person now that it's time to just open up a little bit. That not everything is like. I try to be very careful with my words, but I'm going to just be blunt. Like, not everything that you perceive is a threat. Sometimes our past just carries and lingers with us too long. And so I think you've had these erected borders or boundaries or this erected wall for some time. And I think you've taken a real long time to open up. But I feel like you're actually starting to kind of open up fully to your person. And I see you kind of like, okay, there's a lot to offer here. There's a lot of potential. And I think you're willing and finally able to, wholeheartedly accept what your person is offering you. And I feel like you're also like wholeheartedly willing and able and ready to give equally back. So I do like this. You have the Queen of Cups for your person. So this is like such a beautiful, like a wholesome love energy. It's like, it's a true love. It may not be like the hot, steamy, racy kind of, passion, but it is like a true love, and it's a true love connection. And so I do feel like finally things for you have been really slow going. Things have taken their time to finally merge and come together, to really get to that point where you feel comfortable. And I think your person's been kind of waiting for you to kind of get to that point. So Gemini, that's kind of the way I see things. The Page of Pentacles, though, I would expect some kind of communication with your person about the status of your relationship within the next week or two. And I think maybe this might be a discussion about, what's next, what's going to happen next, or something along those lines. But this is actually quite a nice, easy feeling kind of energy here. It's like, it's not heavy laden with anything. So I think that finally things might start to progress with your relationship to at a pace that you're comfortable with, and finally at a pace that your person has probably been waiting for a little while. So we're going to pull a message from your spirit guides and see what is the message for you that you need to know the most right now. I need to give these a few shuffles here. Let's see. And I do want to thank everybody for being here. I feel totally blessed. When I started doing this on YouTube, I thought that I'm not going to get anybody subscribed to me. This is just crazy. But my wife kind of encouraged me to do it. And here I am at like almost 2,000 subscribers. And that's nothing in the world of YouTube. But to me, it's dumbfounding. But anyway, so Gemini, you have a blessing for unity where there was once division. This is awesome because this is, to me, speaks about healing. And it also speaks about forgiveness. So if there was anything that was dividing you and your person, if there was anything that was dividing you or causing a rift, that is like being made whole. That is healing. But I think it's because you needed time to heal. Like, you had to have some time to trust, to get comfortable again. And feel like everything's going to be okay. So I think this is really about like the message of healing is finally coming full circle for you guys. And this is a beautiful message. I love it. I think this is actually another one of my favorite cards in here because, everybody faces adversity and division in life. but we don't all get the opportunity, to heal that and have unity. And so I think this is an amazing card. It speaks a beautiful message to me for you. So next we're going to do Libra, and I just want to write the time down so I don't have to watch the whole video. Okay, Libra. So what am I going to use here? I haven't used the Tarot of Dreams. That's it. Let's do that. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. So Libra, what is the message for Libra? And the acoustics in here are terrible in my dining room, but we had a lot of rain and down in my tarot cave, because I got 3 boys 5 and under in this house, so it's really hard to do anything up here. It got really wet. I mean, we had several inches of rain, and this farmhouse did not survive that rain too well in the basement. So, all right, Libra. The Sun. This is the best damn card in tarot, and the reason why is this is about total illumination and empowerment. I love this card, really, because this is like coming out of a time where maybe you couldn't see everything, you couldn't find your way around, you're having to rely on your senses. That's really what the Moon card when it comes out with it's about. A lot of times it's like not having total illumination, having to rely, and it's almost like the Moon card is sometimes like a training ground for trusting your own inner guidance and compass. And so the Sun comes out and it's like total illumination and empowerment. This is universe, God, spirit, source, whatever you want to call it, saying yes to you right now. So I love this card. This is an amazing, beautiful card. So I love it. Let's see where this goes. I'm feeling good about it. So the 7 of Swords. Okay. 6 of Swords. The Lovers. I have 2 messages in this reading. And so I'm gonna try and as clearly as I can get 2 messages out. Let's see, Ace of Swords. So this is I feel like the hatchet's been buried. Some headway has been made over some issues in a relationship, and so I think this has kind of brought you out of like a dark place. You're feeling very empowered, very strong. But I feel like some of you, your person is, I feel like they feel regretful because they have some remorse over something. I don't know what their remorse is about. But I do feel like they are remorseful. There had to me, it just immediately came out like there was this something that happened, something that transpired, a lot of dishonesty or something that just was not legit or totally upfront. But I feel like that's been cleared up, okay? Because this is all about, to me, speaking the truth, getting everything out in the open, and actually getting a fresh start. And I say that because you have the Sun here, because if this wasn't a positive message, you wouldn't be beaming in the sun of the spirit. And the 7 of Swords, I'm going to repeat myself and say, I feel like there was a level of regret or a level of remorse here that maybe quite hasn't been, I think more your person's holding on to that. So to me, there's like this feeling of there's some kind of like shame or feeling of realizing that, they did something that hurt you. But nonetheless, I do feel like that's been kind of fixed or at least made whole again. And then the 6 of Swords, I do feel like, okay, you're moving on, but you're moving on with your person. I don't always read the Lovers card as like, that passionate love card, because in the old days, tarot was with the Lovers card was often about a choice. And I don't want to get into the whole thing and digress into that, but I do feel like this is all about that passionate love, and I think this is like moving to a better place in a relationship. So I do feel like everything is okay there. I think there's some things that have been healed, and some things that have been fixed. If they haven't yet, it's kind of in progress, or it'll get to that point to where things have been kind of everything's been kind of aired out, and you can move on from whatever has been causing you some problems in your relationship. For some of you, though, like I said, that this is a dual message. Some of you have had the realization that it's time to move on, that your person obviously was not for you. Your person was not for your highest good. And I think that realization brings you again to the point of illumination and seeing the way out, and actually getting into self-care and taking care of yourself. So that's the other message I get here. And then again, that's moving forward. To me, also, this, again, the second message is loving yourself, taking care of yourself, being the first person that you're in love with, actually loving yourself enough to walk away from something that's hurting you or wounding you. So Libra, that's your message. And I'm going to pull a spirit guide message for you. And we're going to move on to Aquarius. Okay, I feel like this is for me. A blessing on growing older. And I think really that's a joke, but this is about maturing to me. This is like, growing up in a mature way, not necessarily in an age related way, but of course that could be too. You could be coming out of your 20s going into your 30s, or this could just be maturing through experience in a relationship. And so I think this growing older is also about spiritually maturing and learning some lessons. I think I get a message right now that like learning your worth and your value is indeed as much as you believe it is, even if someone's ever told you that your worth and value isn't that great. So I don't know why that comes through, but I feel like I have to say that. But there's this feeling of maturing going on for you, Libra. And yeah, some of that might be getting a little bit older. But a lot of that I think is also like growing through a situation and maturing on an intellectual level. And, I think this is a good thing to see come out, because if we continue to go through things and we never learn anything and just keep repeating things, we're not maturing. So, and I've been there, man. I've done the same thing over and over and over again until I finally got sick of doing the same thing over and over again. I think we've all been there. So, oh, well, thanks for the donation. That was really sweet. If you do have a question at the end and you want to stick around, I will answer one for you. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to do Aquarius. Any choice on decks? There's the Light Seers Tarot, which is this. If there's any Aquarius here that has a preference, or there's a Dreaming Way we can use. I don't know why it says slow mode is on for chat, so I apologize. Like I said, I don't ever stream on YouTube. All right, Aquarius. What is going on in your love life? Venus and Aquarius. Okay. Well, Seven of Swords. Ace of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. Oh boy. Three of Cups. All right. Seven of Wands. So feel like Aquarius, you're having an argument or you're having a bit of a tense moment. And I do think that you're coming from the position that you are on higher ground with this, that you're coming from the point of view that you're 100% right, 100% correct, and you very well may be. That's entirely possible. But I do feel like at the same time, um, it's really not clicking or connecting with your person. There's something that they're missing in your message, or something that's getting lost in translation. So I don't know why, but I feel like there's like this communication rift, or just something isn't sinking in with your person. So whatever you've been trying to get through to them with, if there's something that they're just not really taking seriously, or something that they refuse to see, accept, or hear, I think it's really getting you to the point where you're almost ready just to say screw it. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of trying to get my point across, because I feel like I don't matter, or I feel like it's just not I'm just not being valued enough in this relationship. Because there's something, even if it's something that's so simple, that really isn't that complicated or difficult, but it's something that it really matters, or is important to you, deeply personal and important to you. I feel like it's just something that there's something there that they're just not connecting or clicking with, or they're refusing to really hear what you're trying to communicate or get across to your person. So you're living in the Seven of Swords here, and I feel like you might be ready to cash in and just get out at this point. But I do feel like if you get to that point, if you actually get to the point where you say, you know what, I can't do this anymore, or I just can't communicate with you because you won't hear me out. I think that it actually gets through to them. I think it actually does get through to them. And I don't think that necessarily resolves the problem, but I think it opens the door to actually talk a little bit more real about things. And there's the Two of Pentacles here. And so the Two of Coins is, it's often about juggling more than one thing at a time, or multitasking, working under pressure, under stress. But to me, this is like going back and forth with, kind of debating, or that banter, whatever you want to call it. But so I do feel like that, like this actually does finally get through to them. If you get to the point where you just say, you're not hearing me out, you're not listening to me, and I'm just going to take what I have invested in this relationship and cut my losses, because it's that important to me. I do feel like that gets their attention, and maybe they start to take things a little bit more seriously. So again, Two of Pentacles, I do feel like that is like opens the lines of communication, and there actually is some realistic conversation. But I do feel like, though, that you have the Three of Cups here, and I almost feel like it's like finally getting to the point where you make a pact with your person. I know this is Three Cups, and there's Three Cups here, and you're two people, but like I said, I go off first impression, and I almost feel like it's like making a pact, and like even getting to the point where you might agree to disagree a little bit, but I think it does like bring a little bit more effort on your person's part into the relationship. And so I do feel like if you are getting to the point where you're so frustrated, they might not actually take you seriously until you really get really serious and firm, and stand your ground with whatever it is that is really getting to the point where it's throwing things out of balance in your relationship. So Aquarius, that is what I have for you. But I'm going to do a spirit guide message. Oh, why I got a fly in here? Okay, well, we have a little friend. All right, Aquarius. The blessing of fire. So, yeah, you got to get a little bit more passionate. Maybe Aquarius, you're trying to get through on an intellectual level, and your person maybe that's where the things just don't click with them, and so you might have to try a different approach. I think you really have to address your level of. This might be difficult for you, but like addressing things in a level that is like a little bit more passionate, a little bit more, in a way that maybe they're a little bit more receptive. So you might look up the 5 love languages. You might explore that a little bit and see what it is, like how you can connect to them a little bit better. And that might open the door of receptivity to them. But I do see this as like, you know, being blessed and being gifted with, you know, the ability to connect on a more passionate emotional level where you might struggle with that a little bit. And so this is kind of getting out of that pragmatic point of view on everything. And I think this might actually be the key to help you to resolve some things, getting real, and maybe even, like, you know, I hate to say it this way, but like wearing your heart on your sleeve a little bit to, because I feel like that's where your person kind of comes from. They might be more of an emotional person, and I feel like you might be more of a intellectual thinker. And so I think that trying this, being more passionate and open to that, is going to help establish a connection, help get the message across, rather than just saying, I'm cutting and running, I can't do this anymore, or I'm out of here. I do feel like that's kind of where the message is going for you, Aquarius. So that is your message. And the next we have Taurus, which is start earth signs. I should have brought a couple more decks up here. I don't like using the same deck over and over, like in a row. Shuffle them to the side. We'll do the Gilded Tarot. Taurus. My wife is a Taurus. She's a tough cookie. You don't want to argue with her. Taurus rising. I'm telling you, a Leo and a Taurus do not want to argue. It's the worst thing that can happen. So anyway, let's see. Knight of Cups. Nice. 3 of Cups. Okay. Strength. Now, this hits me kind of strange. The High Priestess. King of Cups. Wow. Okay. So this is all about being up in your feelers, I think, Taurus. And maybe, Taurus, you're not the overly emotional, like out there with it. You might be, Taurus, a little bit more reserved, I think, maybe. And I did say in the previous reading, like, you know, wearing your emotions on your sleeve. And I don't feel like that is you. I think that I think you're a little bit more nonchalant about, you know, matters of, like, you know, love and romance. And so I do feel like this is a change for you. I almost see this as being really, trying really hard to just be reserved. But there's something in you that's just like maybe making you feel like you're jumping out of your skin in a good way, not in a bad way, but it's like there's this emotional charge to, you know, just move forward. Something has you feeling really good. And whatever that is with your person, I think that, like, it shows here, like, this is a beautiful reading. You have the Knight of Cups. I don't want to kill my fly friend. The Knight of Cups here. And, you know, the Knight of Cups, it's like coming in kind of grandiose, or it's, you know, you might be kind of like bursting onto the scene, or maybe taking on a little bit of a different approach or persona. But I do feel like, whatever reason, this, like, your person or this person has got you really kind of charged up, and you, it might make you, you might be feeling a little bit out of character or whatever. I don't know why I feel that way, but I almost feel like it's not quite really your character to like, it might be one thing to feel this way, but it's another thing to, like, actually act it out. And so I feel like you're having a really hard time, you know, containing yourself. There's something very good feeling here in this reading. And I do see, like, you know, your person was, like, you know, resonating the 3 of Cups. And I do feel like this is like, they're coming from the perspective of taking their cup and your cup and combining them into one. And that's like the visual I get. I get this visual of like two cups becoming one. So this is very cool. And I feel like you're still very reserved and you're still trying to hold back and not completely just gush with your person or get too out there or appear to be too overly eager. So there's that, the way that comes through for me. But really the High Priestess is, you know, it comes through really weird to me. Is the High Priestess doesn't come through as this highly intuitive person in this reading, or this highly kind of like connected magical persona. This comes through to me as like somebody that is just bursting or trying not to like burst with joy, but it has like this it just, to me, it just speaks of like this wanting to just come out of the skin that you live in, the body that you live in, because I think this does not really make you feel like you normally do when it comes to a relationship. I feel like you really are wanting to just approach this differently. This person makes you feel very differently, and I think it might make you feel very uncomfortable because you're not probably used to just feeling like so overzealous or so just in your head about somebody. And so to me, the High Priestess kind of does not come out in that kind of way that I see this. It's just really wanting to like transcend who you are into like this person that wants to offer up like a genuine, true love connection. And I don't see it as like this. I just don't. It's really weird the way it comes across. I can't really find the words for it, but nonetheless, it's like an interesting because it feels kind of magical. So this might, feel like too good to be true kind of thing that you might be thinking. You might feel like that might be a little bit of hesitation. Why you hesitate a little bit, because it might feel like it's too good to be true. So whatever reason that comes out that way to me, I don't know, but I feel like you are trying hard to contain yourself. But I do feel like your person is feeling the same way about you, and to a degree, and they look at you as like a promising prospect to really kind of take that relationship to the next level and really combine everything, not just combine together everything into one cup, but that's like the whole picture. It's the finances, it's all the resources, it's the emotional commitment, it's the friendship commitment, all in one package. So I do see, like, I almost feel like they see that as the bigger potential in this. So if there's any discussion of marriage or engagement, I do feel like this is something that's probably coming to the table at some point in the near future for you. And Taurus, I'm going to pull one spirit guide message for you. You'll know this is for you because it'll obviously speak to you and it'll jump right out at you. I always say that each message can't be for everybody. That's impossible. But if it's for you, you'll know it. A blessing on homecoming. So this is awesome. I do like this because a blessing on homecoming is, I almost feel like this is like for you could be the potential of feeling like you're coming home again in the idea that, finding the place in life that you're comfortable and secure. And so I do see this as like, this is blessing you with the potential that this could manifest into that place where ultimately it feels safe, it feels secure, it feels like home, and it feels like where you belong. So I do feel like Spirit is saying to trust the flow in this and the progression in this, and really just to be open to the way things play out for you, Taurus. All right, so we're going to do Virgo. Virgo. There's a Virgo in here. Any particular deck you want me to use? There's the Gilded Tarot, which I just used. And there's Tarot Grand Lux, Dreaming Way. Virgo. Well, it's taking a lot longer than I thought it would do. Virgo, you have the Queen of Wands. And the Hierophant. Ace of Pentacles. All right, Six of Wands. And a Cups. A lot of Cups tonight. So, Virgo, you are looking at, I think there's like trying to find an element of balance in your relationship. I feel like that you two are going through something where there might be two differing points of view. And I do feel like that, like you are wanting to just maybe try and keep the peace, or try to do things status quo for the sake of, the love and the relationship and all that. But I do feel like there is just something that isn't really quite eye to eye, and it might be just be causing a little bit of disagreement, a little bit of trouble, a little shakiness in the relationship. It's nothing serious, but I do feel like it challenges you, and I feel like you have to kind of take the high road in this. And maybe be willing to kind of let something go, or be willing to just not have to be right, whether you're right or wrong. But it's like not, having to just necessarily win the argument. There's something there that is not quite eye to eye. And so I see this as like you're coming from a place of passionate feelings, and your person is like kind of coming from a place that they feel like they feel like they kind of know it all. Maybe they feel like, or they're just kind of coming from a point of maybe a bit of self-righteousness in a sense. And so that might be something you might have actually said to your partner, like, don't be so self-righteous, or just open your eyes and don't have such a narrow point of view. So I do feel like you guys are coming from two different points of view on some kind of conflict. And I don't feel like, again, it's anything serious, but you might have to be willing to just let something go for the sake of not carrying or dragging something out. Because I think if you let it go, if you let something slide, because it doesn't feel very serious to me, you do get the, you kind of get past that, and it's not as bad as you perhaps think it is. To me, forgive me, Virgo, but it might be more about being winning the battle than it is about who's right or wrong. It's just, it's a weird message that comes through. And you have the Six of Wands, ultimately you do get past it. It's a symbol of like getting through something, a symbol of overcoming something. But I don't feel like, again, this is anything too serious. So there is just a little bit of rift here in the reading, but again, I always read things intuitively. What comes to me first, the first impression. So it's like there is two different points of view on a particular subject. And I almost feel like you have to be the one that's willing to let it go, because you move past that, and it stops becoming kind of a bit of an energy vampire in your relationship. And you can move on to better things once you're willing to let it go. Because I feel like your person, no matter what, isn't going to concede. It might actually be something to do with money, or maybe actually something to do with somebody in your family, a particular person, just some kind of like disagreement. Message from your spirit guide. Oh, this is nice, because this is something we don't hear a lot about as men. So there's a male Virgo out there. This is, I think, especially important. So, this is a blessing for good men and good fathers. It isn't easy being a good father. It's a hard job, because a good father if you're out in the workplace, comes home from work, and your job isn't done, your job continues just as your partner's job is continued from morning to night. And so some of you out there might just be feeling a little bit unrecognized or a little bit kind of left. Um, Maybe undervalued or underappreciated a little bit. And so I do feel like that, to me, this could be speaking to what this is about a little bit in a sense. And, for uh, any of my lady viewers out there, maybe this is saying that sometimes men need to feel that um, that little bit of boost to their ego, and not in like this grandiose, egotistical way, but sometimes it just takes just a little bit of something to really encourage your partner a long way. Even hearing something that you don't hear that often really does make a big difference in a relationship. So I do feel that this is really, that could be speaking to what like this really weird disagreement is about. And sometimes you just have to be willing to let things go and move on. But I do feel like that's a message for somebody out there. If you're watching on the replay, if you're struggling as a father, or somebody as a father that's struggling, this is for you. This is about being blessed for being that hardworking father. A lot of times, dads don't get the recognition. Some dads come home and they feel like their job's done, but that's not how a good man takes care of his family, in my opinion. So I know I got 3 boys, and it's like, even to do this channel, I have to do it into the wee hours of the night because I'm busy at work and I'm busy with my kids. It never ends, and we just have to keep going. So that's for somebody out there. Sorry, I rambled on that. Maybe it touched a nerve with me. I don't know. Capricorn. All right. One deck. Let's use the, I don't think I've used that but once. So let me just give these a quick shuffle before I put them away. We're going to use the Light Seers Tarot. Capricorn. And then we have water signs, and we're done. And I will... 3 of Pentacles, okay. Capricorn, 2 of Pentacles. Page of Swords. Queen of Cups. The Hermit, all right. Capricorn, so you might be, or have been, or you might actually still be in this place. And actually, I'm not quite sure if you've actually gotten to this place yet. But I feel like you might be contemplating some things in the near future. And again, this is centered around like the first week of September, but this isn't, these time frames and these readings in no way whatsoever is an exact template. But I do have this feeling that there's some things to contemplate, and I feel like there's kind of some things, like, what do you value right now when it comes to your relationship? What is of value and what isn't? And so I think you might be doing a little bit of soul searching. I feel like you're trying to work on your relationship, Capricorn, with your person. I feel like there's so some of you might be going to therapy, you might be in some kind of counseling. But there feels like there's this effort to kind of, make things work, or allow things to work out. But you might be spending some time in that place in the near future, not being 100% sure if this is going to be something that you can sustain long term with your person. And so I just feel like, you're both kind of in the same place. And not 100% sure. So I feel like maybe there's been something really hard in the past, and it might be something that is really very difficult to overcome. And, really the Page of Swords is here. I think you have to lay it all out on the table and be completely honest. don't hold anything back, but don't be, aggressive or brutal about it. But I feel like there's some things that just have to be put out there. I think when you do though, this is like a freeing moment because it gives you like true clarity when you can actually make a decision about whether or not these things can be mended and fixed in a relationship. I do feel like this is about a troubled relationship or a relationship that needs quite a bit of work. But I do feel like also if there's like 100% willingness on both sides, that it's totally in 100% possible that it's going to be good and fine on that part of your relationship. But I also feel like if like things are totally and completely out there, nothing's hidden, even if it doesn't get to the point where you feel like you can just carry on, at least you can feel good about being able to make a decision with clarity and not to be clouded in your judgment any longer. So Capricorn, I do feel like this is like definitely an interesting read. And I do feel like this is like really fast. Like some of you, or at least one of you out there, again, if you're watching on the replay, therapy, counseling, or in some kind of like modality to try and fix a relationship. And I just see this as like really having to contemplate the long term. But the truth, all things need to be aired, and nothing needs to be held back. There can't be hidden resentments. Oh, thank you, Sharon. I know I got some people popping in and out here, so excuse me. A blessing of forgiveness. And see, isn't that funny how that comes out? This is why I love tarot cards. This is why I love doing this, because I just feel like there's this like divine timing and in these types of messages. And this is like a blessing for forgiveness. And so maybe this is something that you just really need to hear right now. It can be very hard to forgive and to let and release things and let them go. So I feel like your spirit guides are saying to you right now, spirit, God, whoever it is that's in your spiritual practice is saying they're blessing you with the ability to really, truly, deeply forgive. And no matter what that forgiveness leads to, whether it's reconciliation or a repairing of the relationship or a separation, in the end, forgiveness is the ultimate goal. And to not hold anybody prison in our minds for the rest of our lives. No matter how deeply we've been wounded, we have to like let things go so we don't hold ourselves prisoners. So definitely a blessing on you for forgiveness and letting things go. So Capricorn, we have Cancer. Cancer. So close to wrapping it up. Tarot Dreams, Marquetti. Let's go with it. Cancer. Seven of Cups. I think you get to choose or pick something. I don't know. The Hanged Man also. Cancer. And what else do you have? Nine of Cups. Okay. Definitely get to pick and choose something in this relationship. And it's like, kind of waiting for it to manifest and materialize. King of Wands. Yep, nice. Eight of Coins. Eight of Pentacles. So, Cancer, some of you might have been waiting for your person to kind of come around and get on the same page as you. And so I think you've been kind of holding out and maybe even getting to the point where you felt like, you're kind of holding out for nothing, like it's a dream that'll never manifest, materialize, that your person isn't ready to settle down or they're not 100% committed or serious. So I do feel like you kind of like at times question your devotion to your person. And I think you've been in that place for a long time. And I think part of it is because your person just wasn't at that point. They weren't ready yet. But I think they are now. I think there's like this feeling of, there's just so much going on here. I could just pull so many messages out of here. But there's like, okay, I'm ready to give what you give and put into this what you put into this. And so it's finally like you're realizing that these things that you thought maybe were just like delusions, like your relationship's never going to get to that point. I think they're out of some kind of like period of being not 100% ready to commit. And so I think you do start to see like the potential of a wish fulfillment here. You start to see that there is a whole lot of potential for this relationship moving forward. And I feel like you may be to the point where it's like it's about damn time. Finally, things get going. And they do. You have the King of Wands. And I do feel like this is like, okay, things start to get a little bit supercharged in your relationship and do definitely pick up. I definitely don't get anything like there is absolutely to me like really no conflict. This has just been kind of a waiting game, waiting on your person to finally get with it and get going. And so I think that's kind of where you're going with this right now. I got this fly in here and I don't want to kill him, but he keeps bugging me. So basically you're getting to the point where it's like a transition to finally to the next step. You've been waiting around for them to finally come around. And so that's where you're at. That's what's going to happen. I think first week of September, definitely maybe you start to see the realization of that momentum picking up. And I think you've just been patiently waiting. So we're going to see what your spirit guide message is. All right, are you ready for it, Cancer? A blessing to find your way. This card, like every time I play with this deck, this card like never comes out. It's just like that one card that just, you don't even know it's there sometimes because it just never pops out. But tonight's the night, Cancer. So I think, again, you've waited. I think you've waited things out for a very long time. And I think you've been very patient. And I think this is what this is saying here is Spirit is saying that, you've just trusted your intuition, you've trusted your instinct, and you held on to your devotion to your person and your love for your person. And so now that that's coming through, everything's going to finally come together and you're going to get through this. You're going to get to the next part and it's going to be really nice. It's going to be a lot easier, a lot less worry and tension about the status of your relationship. And so you're being blessed right now, with that gift of finally feeling like you're getting to somewhere in your life that really matters to you and that's most important to you. So Cancer, that is your reading, and we're going to do Scorpio. I can't do this with this computer next time. It's too shaky. It's making me a bit nauseated here. All right. Scorpio. Anyway, what's going on in your love life, Scorpio? What is the message for you this time? Ooh, another Hermit. All right, Scorpio. The Magician. Ooh, okay. You got the answer to something. This is nice. Or you figured out how to get what you want, I think. Nine of Wands. But you might be a little unsure. Okay. Four of Swords. So, interesting, Scorpio, because the Four of Swords, in Tarot, Four of Swords is a lot of times about self-care, taking care of yourself, taking a time out. It's almost like, go lay down, take a nap, meditate, pray, or just disconnect from everything that's busy and not to be so overly involved in things and doing, things to the point where you're exhausting yourself. So a lot of times the Four of Swords is like about getting your thoughts together and getting reorganized in your mind. And then you have the Hermit here. And so this is like, to me, it's like so interesting the way these two kind of just come out like this. So I think you've spent some time here trying to figure out, you know, some things in your relationship. How I think you are, or we're trying to get to the point where you can communicate that offer of love in a respect that might go to a much higher level of commitment, or it may be just communicating from the point of the standpoint of being in a dating relationship to like wanting to go to a more serious relationship, or from a serious relationship into engagement. So whatever that is, I think there's been some time where you've really been mulling this around, and now you're kind of at the point here. Both of you, I feel like this is like interesting, because I feel like this plays off of both of you. This is that magician energy where you're able to do things with ease. There isn't a whole lot of resistance. It's like having the ingredients in the recipe. You know what goes in it, and so there isn't any resistance there. So you're able to finally, once you have the answers and kind of have some clarity, get to the point where you can manifest this relationship to the next kind of level, elevate the relationship a little bit. And so there is like this offer here of love, but it's the Six of Cups. And so I do feel like there might be a little bit of pulling back, because I think there's a realization here coming up soon that perhaps there might have been a little bit too much of a rush to make a commitment, or there might be some worry about having made a commitment in the near future. So just be careful about how quickly you commit to somebody, because I do feel like there's this rush to commitment, because it's like all of a sudden it's mutual. I think you both are kind of manifesting this, and you get to that point where there is like this commitment, this offer of love that comes through, but one of you, and it might be you, that actually feels like I moved too fast, and you might be looking back like I might have been a little bit immature, childish. I don't even think that's the right word for it, but just like a little bit impulsive. And so I do feel like that you need to take things slower and slow it down, so you don't have any regret about the commitment that you're making to your person if it's getting to a more serious point, because I feel like you're gonna almost be worried about letting your person down, or just kind of regretting it, and jumping head first into something and then pulling the brakes. But I do feel like you've spent a lot of time really thinking about this person, and really deciding to the level of can you commit long term to this person, or can you go to that next level with this person? And I do feel like you really do feel like you can, but it's almost like it feels like there's a rush to judgment in this, and that maybe you need to just not move too fast in, this relationship. Just take your time, because I do feel like there might be a little bit of regret, a little bit of remorse if you move too fast. So Scorpio, what's your message from Spirit? I mean, the magician, like the being in that persona is amazing, because you can do so many different things. It isn't just love, it's anything. It's putting that to use and being able to just do so many different things without having a whole lot of friction or resistance with what you're doing. But I think you're both kind of in the same place, and it might be a little bit too fast. A blessing of solace and hope. So this immediately speaks to me of the Nine of Wands. I think that this is saying, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So you might think that you're jumping into something that's just going to be totally and completely perfect, but then you might have the realization that you've made a rush to judgment, or made a commitment too quickly. But I do feel like to me, this might be like this feeling of you're coming from a place of past disappointment, or a place of maybe never thinking that you would find like that person again in your life that makes you feel the way that this person does. And so I do feel like this is like saying Spirit's blessing you with that solace and hope, but that doesn't come, it isn't fulfilled by your person. It's fulfilled by an acceptance of yourself, and just accepting things in the past as they are, letting them go, moving beyond that, knowing that you have to love yourself first. You have to find solace and hope. I think outside of your person, they aren't your savior. Look to your spiritual team, look to your higher power to really find that in your life. So if any of you is struggling with like feeling like this person is going to fulfill your life and give you everything you need, that, that missing piece, I think that's a warning to be a little bit careful, because you might be jumping into something that they can't quite give you without maybe completing some steps and some further healing from some past trauma or some past relationship wounds. So kind of interesting how that jumped out at me, but definitely an interesting card when that comes out. Usually I see that like that's when somebody is dealing with somebody who's passed on. So you might have had a past relationship where your person's passed on, and you're still very much in the grieving stage. No matter how far beyond you are from that in a timeline sense, there still might be this sense of grieving and mourning somebody from your past. And so a lot of times that card kind of comes out like that. All right, so Pisces, we're going to end this with Pisces. All right, Pisces, what are we going to use? I should have brought more decks up here, but this is good. Let's see. Go with this one. Pisces, all right. We got a Pisces here. And Ketty, if you're still around and you want to ask a question, I'll gladly do that for you. I got like this flying here. It's driving me nuts. All right, Pisces. Oh, thank you. It's weird for me doing live. It's just I feel like totally, completely out of my element. Pisces, all right. King of Coins. Wheel. The Tower. The Magician. All right. So, King of Swords. So some of you are, okay, Pisces, you're the last sign, but, some of you are kind of manifesting something without even realizing it. And I think you're not going to realize it until some time down the road. So I do feel like that, the King of Swords here is like, I do see this as you feel like you're constructing a plan of action in, with what's going on in your love life and your relationship. And so I do see like there is some kind of like conflict or some kind of something that needs to change in your relationship, some kind of instability. And I don't think that's like instability between you and your person at all. I feel like that's okay. I feel like there's some other kind of instability, and so it might be some kind of financial instability, or something else is going on in that's affecting your relationship, your love life. So you might be married, or might have been married with this person at some time now, but not necessarily. But so there's something that is kind of gotten a hold of something in your life that's really affecting you as a whole. So I do feel like you've like constructed a plan, or you've been constructing a plan to kind of maybe rearrange and change some things. And I do see this as like the King of Coins. It's like you might be having some financial strain in your marriage or your relationship. There might be some trying to protect some assets. So that, to me, even there could even be an element of bankruptcy or some kind of reorganization of your finances. So whatever is happening in your relationship, it's definitely not an issue between like the love connection, because that to me like does not come out here. So that has to be solid or pretty good. The focus is on something else kind of shaking your foundation in life right now. But what's interesting is like you're kind of manifesting this change without even realizing it. And so at first, what might seem a little bit scary ultimately turns out to be the best thing to come in and actually bring some balance back into your life, some stability. I know a lot of people have gone through obviously a lot of shaky times when it comes to their money because of everything that's happened with current events. But you got the wheel here. So something definitely, you're constructing a plan, and you kind of strike the sword, you move forward, and that really puts a complete change of events in your life. And at first, it might be a little scary. The Tower isn't a negative card to me. A lot of people think they see the Tower and they freak out, but really the Tower is about sweeping change. And sometimes we have to be willing to let some things go. So again, I do feel like there might be some kind of financial issue that has to be cleared out. And listen, if it has to do with bankruptcy or some kind of financial issue like that, I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of at all whatsoever. Things happen in life, but this is something's coming to kind of clear that out for you. And when that happens, after you get over the kind of the angst or the nerves of the whole situation, again, I said I felt like you're kind of manifesting without even knowing, but then at some point down the road, you get to the point you realize that you had this kind of like divine vision that kind of came. Sorry about the motorcycle out there. Divine vision that kind of came to clear all this out. And maybe some of this you didn't even know where it come from, but you made some calculated choices. And I think this is really what's affecting your relationship the most right now. So you're going through some big changes, but I don't think those changes are affecting your love life. I think it's just you're having kind of a reorganization of things in life. A lot of people have right now, and a lot of people are going through that. So just hold tight. I feel like you guys have one another to hold on to. So like there is this feeling of like there's a solid commitment, and that is actually okay and intact. I think you're both weathering a storm together, and quite sensibly, as a matter of fact. So let's see what the message, Pisces, from Spirit is for you. And at this time, and thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's pull this, and a blessing for support. I got this fly is really bugging me. I don't know how it got in here, but it's making me nuts. All right, a blessing for support. So this is your spirit guide team. This is your spiritual team. And I think I said this at the very beginning of the video. Sometimes you gotta. Oh, Whitney, you're so sweet. Thank you. I feel like if you could actually, if any of us could actually like poke a hole in that veil, we would be amazed at what's on the other side. I've had some incredible experiences in my life. I was face to face with an angel before, and I know that sounds completely crazy, but I know I was. And we all have these spiritual experiences. Being open to them, you have a blessing for support. And that blessing for support is coming from your spiritual team. So really just trust every move that you're making, and know that even if you make a mistake or an error in what you're doing, trying to weather the storm, you're covered. It's going to be okay. You're going to get through this each and every step of the way. Just don't get overwhelmed, and you're going to be all right. You're going to move forward just fine. You do have the support of everybody behind you on your spiritual team. All right. So that ends all the signs. Cards on your love life, Ketty, and then Whitney, if you want me to do some after that. Oh yeah, Leo. That I think didn't I do a Leo reading, or maybe it wasn't Leo. It was like having somebody. It was like somebody convinced. The reading was about kind of being conned by like a friend into a relationship, and then they kind of ghosted, and it was like such a really weird reading. So, Kenny, let's see. Cards on your love life. I'm sitting patiently from this Leo who stole my heart. Am I wasting my time? What deck would you like? I could do Light Seers. This is good for love. Why don't we do that? This is one of my favorite decks. Okay. Are you wasting your time? Well, you're definitely dreaming of like the big picture of this person, so you're not quite really letting them go. And Oh, thank you for the donation. You're really not letting them go. Like this Ten of Cups is like, this is really what you're holding on to. So let's explore that a little bit and let's see. Um, I think you might see like, this is supposed to be your forever person, or at least you feel that way. The Fool. The thing about the Fool card is, and it's usually depicted quite similarly in many different tarot decks, like the Fool card is just like going into something without a whole lot of worry about what lies ahead. And, just being kind of spontaneous or sometimes impulsive and carefree. But what we don't always really realize in the Fool card is, she's got, usually it's in the traditional, it's a flower and, the stick over the arm with this bag looking up to the sky. But what the person, the Fool on the card doesn't see is the cliff in front of them. And so there's always like an indication, like there's some unforeseen and some unknown. So, you have the Ten of Cups. You really look to this person as like, this was supposed to be my forever person. And I love how on this card, there's a treble clef. And so it's like you probably can't see that, but it's an indication like there's, like making music with somebody, like having that really that harmony and that fulfillment. And then the Fool here, I feel like it's like you're willing to still take a chance with this person, even if it means you stumble off a little bit of a cliff and get hurt again. And so I kind of see that's where you're coming from. Like you're willing to, I feel like you're willing to put yourself in that position, but you're more worried about, are you wasting your time? Because you don't want to get hurt again. And so we're going to look and see one or two more cards. Whitney, I remember doing a personal reading for you, Whitney. That was fun. And unfortunately, that I never did email you back, but that Zoom cloud thing got all messed up, and they never contacted me back. So I apologize. I was hoping to have a copy of that for you. Nine of Cups. Oh, okay. Let's do one more. Seven of Pentacles. I don't think you're wasting your time. I think you're taking a chance. Ultimately, you're taking a chance because, tarot is about the highest probability, the highest outcome. And I believe it's an inspired message from Spirit, or that's how it's supposed to be. But there isn't anything that's 100% firm, set in stone. So we have to understand that. But I think you're willing to take the chance. And I think that you could possibly see like things finally turn around and get better, but it isn't going to come in very fast. I think you must, if you're willing to be patient for some time, then there's, a high probability that, there might be some point, I would say like, 6-8 months, maybe even, maybe around that time frame that, they might start coming back around, but make sure they're doing it out of a place that's not, coming around like out of boredom. Make sure that it's genuine, because there is the cliff in the Fool card. So there's always potential to, stumble a little bit. So be careful about that, Ketty. And I think that you're going to be okay. You just have to trust yourself. You'll know if it's right or not. And then how many more we have here? Whitney, if you have a question, I'll answer that. And is it diatrima? What do you have? Oh, thank you, Crystal. Oh, well, thank you, Ketty. And I'm glad it helped you a little bit. All right. So I'm going to do one last call for Whitney and the other donor. I think it's diatrima. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And I thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it. This is, like I said, I've live streamed on Facebook. It's a completely different vibe on Facebook. This is kind of a tougher venue, and it's not easy being a small fish here, but I'm going to keep at it. You're single, anything new in my love life? Okay. Well, let's look. Clean the vibes off these cards. Seven of Wands. I feel like you have to release something. And that might be what's holding you back, actually, from really completely like getting to the point where you're. I think your next relationship is like going to be a big long-term relationship, but I feel like you actually have to release something. So there's something. There's something that is uncomfortable from your past, and I don't want to get into saying kind of like what I feel like, but and it doesn't matter what it is anyway. So I think you feel like you have to release something. You have to completely heal from something, and when you do, like, then your eyes will be open to like a true genuine love or true genuine connection. So that's really kind of the way I see this. I don't know if that makes sense, the sun. So if you come into that place where you really completely truly oh, good, okay, so that makes sense. So once you get to that point, like, you are willing, see these Seven of Wands, and you know the wands may all be pointing at you, and they might be close, like pointing fingers, and like, these could be things from your past or events in your life, and but they can't hurt you anymore. They're not touching you, and so it's time to like release them, let them go. Don't let them hold you prisoner. Once you do that, that blindfold, really, you have the power to take that blindfold off. Once you completely let go, you move into the best damn card in tarot, and that's the sun. And I think this is actually you realizing your beauty and like your divinity in a sense. And when you get to that point, like, it's like all of a sudden you become like a magnet. You're like a lot more magnetic. You're not carrying around a lot of heavy energy, and so I think it just like puts a totally different spin on your love life. So definitely work on that, and I think you'll be all right. I think definitely. But that's all dependent on, releasing some things, letting them go. Next time, I'm not going to put slow mode on the chat. I don't know how I did that. I don't know. I know it's slowing it down. Good. I'm glad it did. And everybody, I appreciate you guys coming out again. Like, share, subscribe, if you would. If you're not a subscriber, I think all of you guys are, but and again, I'm going to probably do one next Friday. We'll see. I'm going to try and do one every week because this is a lot easier than recording a bunch of videos and then uploading them. I will continue to do that, but this makes it a little easier too on me. So, oh, good. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight and making my first YouTube live stream a lot easier and a lot less scarier than I thought it was going to be. And so I think I'll talk to you guys again a week from now. And so until then, and Whitney, if you had something, I didn't see you chime in, but you have my email, so just email me and I'll gladly answer a question for you. Thank you. All right. You guys have a good night. I'll talk to you later.